Again, a very special welcome to the Mooney family this morning. In the gospel today, we hear about Jesus being recognized in the breaking of the bread. That in these resurrection stories, he appears as a pilgrim, as a cook, as a gardener. So it's kind of hard to recognize him sometime. But we as disciples of the Lord are to be recognized as well. And one of the songs we sing, you will know that we are Christians by our love, by our love. They will know that we are Christians by our love. One way you express that love is through stewardship. That as disciples of the Lord, we have to in some way demonstrate that. Stewardship is what I do after I say I believe. Here at Resurrection last Sunday, we had stewardship fair. All kinds of activities were in the gathering area. Sheila gave a wonderful reflection on stewardship. This weekend, we're asking parishioners to share their experience of stewardship. So last night, Jackie and Jeff Merkus spoke on their stewardship. At 8:30 Mass, Jeff and Mary Parish spoke, and this morning we're honored to have Kitty Berry. And Kitty is one of our trustees here at Resurrection. She is the Associate Director of Options for Independent Living. She's been with them for many, many years doing great work. So Kitty, one of the, we have jargon terms in our Catholic tradition. We have spirituality and evangelization and stewardship. So what does stewardship, that term, mean for you over the years?
Thank you, Bishop. In the past, when I thought about stewardship, the phrase time, talent, and treasure comes to mind. Of these three, I find giving time relatively easy to practice. As a child, I witnessed my parents sharing their time by volunteering in the community, at our school, and for many activities at St. Victor's Church in Monroe, Wisconsin. In fact, my 90-year-old mother is still very active at the church and drives a woman who is blind to church every Sunday. But I also saw them devote time to prayer. Sunday Mass was always an important part of my family's weekend, even when we traveled. As children, we were taught our first lesson in sharing treasure when we were instructed to put money in the collection basket. Dad passed out quarters. Remember, this is in the 60s, right before offertory. I think most of the money made it in the basket, but as I was writing this, I was thinking my sisters and I may need to make a donation to St. Victor's Church. As a mother, I have tried to pass on many stewardship values to my two children, who are now adults. We participated in Sunday liturgy, and my children sang in the children's and the youth choir. We helped at the Lenten fish fries and volunteered at many community activities. I give financially to the parish and to other community needs important to me. My understanding, though, of and appreciation of stewardship has certainly grown in these past few years. Bishop Bob's homilies, reading the stewardship prayer at Mass, and you. I look out at you. You who teach faith formation, you who sell script, our servers, our wonderful choir. I look at you who drive people to church on Sunday. You, the Resurrection community, are the most amazing stewardship role models for me, and you have guided me in developing a broader definition of what it means to be a good steward.
And presently, you're the Associate Director at Options of Independent Living. As part of your stewardship work at the present time, what else are you involved in?
Thank you. Bishop, that was not one of the questions that you sent to me last week. I have my script, and that was not on it. Can't even remember what the question was. How is my work as... Great. Don't ever volunteer to do this, because this is what's going to happen. I have had the good fortune for the last 30 years to be part of an organization called Options for Independent Living, and we are working to protect the civil rights of people with disabilities and to remove barriers for individuals with disabilities. And it's really been a privilege of mine to be part of this very active group of people providing services for people with disabilities in our community. Now the next question, Bishop. I can read it.
I forgot the question.
Okay. I have it. How do you exercise stewardship, and how are you trying to be a good steward of God's gifts?
That's a question.
Okay. The key word for me in this question is trying to be a good steward. Prayer, service, and sharing is now what I strive to be a good steward. While prayer and weekend liturgy has always been an important part of my life, I didn't necessarily equate it to stewardship. I am working on growing my spiritual life. I participate in a monthly Journey book club with an incredible group of Resurrection women, and I attended a cursil at the encouragement of a Resurrection couple, Terry and Marlene Buboltz, who aren't here, and they're going to hear about that they weren't here to hear their names. I read a daily reflection from Give Us This Day most mornings. And lately, because I've become so forgetful, I write a couple of meaningful words from the reading on a small piece of paper and put it in my pocket so I can reflect on it during the day. Service has always been, for me, the foundation of stewardship. Since joining the parish 25 years ago, I have been active in school and parish committees, and for the past several years, I've been a member of the Parish Pastoral Council. Leadership has come very naturally for me. Being the oldest in my family, my sisters call it bossy. However, the Resurrection staff and parish have challenged me to use some of my other gifts. While running a meeting is easy for me, speaking about my personal response to stewardship is not. But who can say no to Bishop? A few years ago, Rosemary asked me to consider becoming a Eucharistic minister. I had never considered this ministry, and now I feel privileged to be part of this team. Last year, Bishop and Sheila asked me to co-facilitate a parish retreat. Sure, I said, I'm good at organizing. But talking about my own prayer and spiritual life was out of my comfort zone. Now, being part of the retreat team has helped me become a better steward. On my commitment card, I said yes to continuing to be involved in both of those ministries. Resurrection Parish, however, has given me an opportunity to practice being a good steward through pouring coffee. Yes, pouring coffee. Don't ask me to cook. Don't ask me to be in the kitchen during the fish fry or any meal here, but I am happiest when I am chatting and pouring coffee after Mass or at the fish fry. To paraphrase Bishop, share your gifts and you will find joy.
One last question.
You have another. Oh, thank you.
Just one last question. The claim in the stewardship theology is that basically we are not owners of anything, that all of our time, talent, treasure is simply given to us in trust as caretakers. Do you think that's a viable position, or are we not owners of our, this is my time, this is my money, these are my talents?
Bishop, you ask tough questions. Yes, stewardship is a way of life. It's easy to embrace this lifestyle when I'm here at liturgy, when I'm at the leadership summit this weekend, or when I was at the school auction. But on Thursday morning, after I've pushed the snooze button and missed my morning prayer for the second day in the row, or when I didn't make time to visit a colleague in the hospital, or for the sake of convenience, I just tossed out my iced tea bottles rather than recycling them, or when I wish that I hadn't made that donation to my favorite nonprofit because I heard about a fabulous sale, I realize I am a lousy trustee of my life and gifts. It's then that I need to refocus and remember that God is at the center of all that I am and do. I recognize that it is God who has given me gifts, and it is gratitude that I nurture and share these gifts. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Kitty.